Hi guys, Samantha from Jessama Tutorials here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create Faux Lapis Lazuli. Now, at the beginning of the video I showed some colour recipes, and these are optional. You can use other colours if you like, but I find that these ones work better than just the straight out of the packet colours. So this is the first colour I show on the list, this is the second colour, this is the third colour, this is the fourth colour. And these are the ones that we are going to be using in today's project. You are also going to need some translucent. I've chosen to use Primo translucent because the Kato translucent when it's baked doesn't go as translucent as I would like it to go. So those are the polymer clay colours that we're going to be using. So I'll just put these aside for the moment. Now, I've let these sit for a little while because what you want is your clay to be unconditioned. You don't want it soft, you want it quite hard. So I'll just roll this into a ball, and that is what we are going to be using. So I'll bring over my blade. And all you want to do is you want to chop it into pieces. And you'll do this with all the colours. Now you'll do that with half of your translucent, and in a second I'll show you what we're going to do with the other half of the translucent. So just cut it into coarse pieces. You don't want to chop it too fine at the moment because we're going to be grating it later on. So just chop it into fairly large pieces. So you'd continue doing that with all of your colours. Now, because it's unconditioned, they shouldn't stick to each other. You don't want them sticking to each other because we want to mix all the colours together. So you'd continue doing that with all of your colours. Okay, so I've just finished chopping up all of the colours. So this is colour number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And I've also got some translucent. Now here's another piece of translucent that I've rolled out on my thickest setting. It's not conditioned, I've just rolled it out enough that it's good for me to put metal leaf on. So we're going to be using gold, as that's what's found in Lapis Lazuli. And you can see that it comes in these booklets. Now when you're using this, make sure that all your windows and doors are closed, fans off, as this stuff blows around all over the place. Now this is a good project to use scraps, so I'm going to be using my scraps. And if you've been working with metal leaf for a while, you'll have plenty of scraps. So you just want to add just a top coat to the translucent, like that. There we are. And we'll be adding more leaf later on. I'm just going to close this up, put it to the side for later. Okay. So you can see that this stuff is very fiddly, so you need to be careful with it because it will fly all over the place. So now what you want to do is you want to chop this up into pieces. And what you're trying to achieve when you're chopping up these pieces is to get nice sharp angles. You don't want to be you don't want to have round angles. So when you're chopping it, go for sharp angles. And there we are. That's good. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to put all of these pieces together. And this is why I haven't stuck them together, because you want to be able to mix them together so that they look even. Now with this light color over here, I'm actually going to split it in half. I don't want all of it, I just want a little bit, because in Lapis Lazuli it's mostly dark blue with just a few light spots here and there. So I'll mix that in. And we're going to grate this in a minute. Then I'll take translucent Mix that in as well, and then finally take the translucent with the gold and I'll mix that in as well so that it's all fairly well mixed. Now I'm going to bring over some more of my gold leaf, and again it's just scraps, and I'm just going to add that to this and mix it in. It doesn't matter where it sits, so I'll bring in a fair bit. Okay, and just mix that in so that it's sticking to the clay and not flying all over the place. There we go. Once you've done that, just squish it all together. Okay. Just like that. And you don't have to compact it too much. You just want it in enough of a ball that you'll be able to grate it. So you can chop this with a tissue blade if you don't have a grater, but I do have a grater, which you can see is fairly large, and this is the size you want your gratings to be at. So this one I can take out like that, as it makes it easier for you to see, but this is the size that we want, so you can get this at any kitchen place where you get your kitchen supplies. Now if you did steal your kitchen grater and you want to use it for your polymer clay, you can't use this for anything else. Again, it has to be polymer clay only. You can't use this with food again. So you just grate your entire block like that. So this block needs to become all that, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so here's what it looks like now that it's been grated. Now we want to add just a little bit more gold leaf. So I'll bring that over. Because we're going to grate it one last time. And so just fold the leaf in. Okay, I lied. We're going to put on a lot more. So a lot more gold leaf. Okay, so once you've got it mixed in, just take your gratings and squish it all together so that it forms a ball again, and make sure to get all of these shavings. So you can see it's quite a messy process. It's not exactly clean. And just like before, you'll grate this down again. Just make sure that you've got it compacted into a fairly strong ball, like that. So I'll grate this down and we can come back when I've got that done. Okay, so here is all grated down again. And so I'm going to save 1/2 of this to be condensed into a ball. But then this other half, I thought we could put some gold leaf veins in it. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take pieces of leaf, tap it down and cover it up with the clay. Take some more, put it in a different spot, cover that up with the clay. And I think this will look cool. So you don't have to do this. This is just to add a little bit of interest to it, but it's by no means necessary to the project. I mean, we've already used up so much gold leaf. Okay, so that should be enough. Okay, and then we'll condense this down into a ball. And I'll just pick up all these pieces as well. Okay, so I'll put this one to the side for a minute, and we'll also condense this one down. And pick up all the shavings. Okay, so here are the two balls. This is the one with the gold leaf veins. This is the one that hasn't got the gold leaf veins. So you need to make sure before you cut this that you squish all of those pieces of clay together, because this is made up of tiny little pieces of grated clay. So the outside may look solid, but you need to make sure that the inside is also quite solid. So take a little bit of time to make sure that it's solid on the inside, because you don't want to find out that it's not when you start cutting. So just spend some time reducing it, then squishing it back down, then reducing it, then squishing it back down. And I find that works pretty well. Okay, so now that I've condensed them down, I'm going to slice them and show you what they look like. So I'm going to bring over my blade and I'm going to cut down the middle. Okay, so if I bring this up, hopefully you can see that through all of these gold specks we've also got a few slight veins. They're a little hard to see, but we have definitely got some gold veins in there. And this one, also going to cut in half. And so this one, we haven't got any veins in it. So I'll bring up the two and show you the comparison. So I think I like the gold veins one the best. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop a piece off of each one, like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake this just to show you what it looks like once it's baked, because we have a bit of translucence in this project, and so it's going to look a little different once it's baked. So what I like to do before I do anything with my faux techniques or canes or anything like that is I like to bake a chip just like this to see exactly what it looks like, and then it helps me decide what I want to do with it. So I'll bake both of these and then I'll come back and show you what they look like. Okay, so I've finished baking these chips, and I've also sanded one side so it's got a slight glossy look, and this will also bring out the colours. So I thought I'd show you what it looks like once sanded. And this is the side that's just been baked, so you can see it, there's not very much of a shine to that one, and you can see that once it's baked the colours will darken slightly, and once sanded they will get a richer colour and the gold leaf will stand out a bit more. So that's the one with the gold veins. This one is the one without the gold veins, and I've also sanded that one, and here's the side that's not sanded. So you can also see that the colours have darkened a bit. So that's how I create my faux lapis lazuli, and I hope that this tutorial was helpful to you. If it was, please do check the links below, as there'll be links to more tutorials like this one. And if you are watching this on my website jessamatutorials.com, please check below the video, as there'll be a form down there where you can send in pictures of what you've done using this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing what you've done. Mess around with the colour recipes, see what you can do, maybe make the colours lighter or darker. I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. And if you are watching this on YouTube, check the links below, so there'll be a link to my website jessamatutorials.com, where I have articles and places you can send in pictures of your projects and all sorts of things that I'm sure that you'll love. And as always, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.